Brody Whitehair, number 4, senior.
Devontae Johnson, number 8, senior.
Chris Wilson, 21, senior, Red Cat Beauty.
Karamoda, number 3, junior.
Dominic Fantasia, number 33, senior, owner of El Paso.
Rudy Corella, 6, sophomore.
Cam Dinger, number 10, senior. Go Bears.
Rock Martin, number 5, senior. Avon Jones, number 11, senior.
Logan Canfield, number 2, senior.
Trey Cumberledge, 81, senior.
Jeffrey Calgary, number 80, senior.
Trevor Bigelow, number 55, senior.
Caleb Arbogast, 50, senior. Go Bears.
Tristan Ramsey, 74, junior.
Deshaun Floyd, number 75, junior.
Powers Dawson, number 60, senior.
Back to back.
Hunter Bigelow, number 51, senior.
Javen Papali, number 59, junior. Tribal Chief.
Quinn Atkinson, 70, senior. Go Bears.
Lovokul Kalkini, 65, senior. Maximilian Fimkosero, number 40, senior, für das Vaterland.
Tonight from East West Stadium in Fairmont, it's Polar Bear football as Fairmont Senior meets the Lewis County Minutemen. I'm Jeff Carpenter. To my right is Ray Frazier, back for another season of Polar Bear football. And Fairmont Senior, big favorite in this game tonight, even though this is the first game these two teams have played. Polar Bears have won 9 straight against Lewis County, and the Minutemen, as we mentioned, are looking at a lot of new faces. I checked in with their coach, Dustin Koger, before the game to get a little bit of an idea of what he's looking at with his team this season. I guess these are the first game technical difficulties that you come up with, Ray, when you are out for the first time. So we'll go right to you and talk a little bit about this Polar Bear football team and this matchup tonight with Lewis County. This is a very talented Polar Bear team we're looking at this season.
Yeah, definitely, Jeff. We're definitely looking at a very talented, inexperienced Polar Bear football team. They're coming back with the goal in mind of, we know what that is. That's a state championship. I mean, they have proven that over the past few years that's the only goal that matters. This team is very has a lot of depth at certain positions, but definitely is trying to figure out the offensive line right now. But as Coach Bardick said in the pregame, they're going to get there.
This is a team that also has a number of transfers, and these aren't just run-of-the-mill average football players who have transferred, and that's going to make a big difference for this Polar Bear team because they filled in at some key spots, and it's made some spots really, really difficult, in particular in the receiver area. The Polar Bears have Brock Martin, who was top receiver for North Marion last season. He's coming in along with Cannon Dinger, who was Fairmont's top receiver last season. And then a new guy, Trey Cumberledge, a basketball player who's going to open a lot of eyes this season.
Yeah, Jeff, but I mean, I think if you're a competitor, I mean, I think you look at it as a very positive byproduct having this because it's just going to bring more competition and, just as we say, iron sharpening iron, that's exactly what they're looking at trying to do. So I think it's a positive thing.
Let's take a look at exactly how this Polar Bear starting offense should look tonight in this game, because we do have some new players, and one of those new players will be the guy who's the center tonight, and that is junior Tristan Ramsey, 5'11", 255-pounder, transferred from East Fairmont. On either side of him will be Caleb Arbogast, and that's a name you're familiar with. He's a senior, 6 feet tall, 245. He's a longtime starter for Fairmont Senior, high-quality lineman. Deshaun Floyd is a junior at 6'4", 310, and he's been fighting for playing time. Should have a chance to start in this game tonight. Left tackle will be Powers Dawson, a senior at 6'0", 275. And on the other side, starting tackle will be Trevor Bigelow. Bigelow's another outstanding lineman for the Polar Bears with football in his future. He's 6'4", 275, and he is a senior. Tight end will be Jeff Calger. Calger came over from North Marion as well. He's a 6'3", 190-pound senior. In the backfield will be Damani Johnson. He is a 5'10", 170-pound senior. Damani has played behind Dylan Hours in the Polar Bears lineup offensively, but this will be his year to be the featured back in the Polar Bear backfield. And also wideouts Trey Cumberledge. Cumberledge is a senior, 6'3", 184, and Cannon Dinger, who is a senior at 5'9", 170. Dinger's the Polar Bears' leading receiver from last season, and he has all kinds of opportunities for school records in his sights. One he already has. He's the team's leading interceptor in school history, and he's got a whole season ahead of him.
Yeah, he's a fun one to watch. I mean, last year just so impressive with we say ball skills, but I mean he's a ball hawk. I mean, he finds the football.
And he particularly likes to make the catches that look to be difficult catches. You see him and you think, oh, that's going to be a tough one to catch. He catches those. Yeah,
he takes the pride in doing that. And the thing that you notice is he does what you call high point the ball. I mean, that's something I notice is something that's very rare in a high school kid to have that skill set already. He's got that. I mean, he really understands that concept.
The Polar Bears have, as far as skilled, we mentioned the skilled players, but also on defense, last year one of the leading tacklers on the Polar Bear team was Gavin Michael. He is no longer here. And, of course, we mentioned Dylan Hours, who was the leading rusher. He ran for over 1,000 yards, and it just seemed like he was all over the field on both sides of the ball and special teams. He is gone. But as far as special teams players, Cam Peschel returns, and Peschel had quite a year for the Polar Bears with extra points. He was 69 for 73 in extra points. That was his first year of playing football, and he's back for his senior season.
Yeah, special teams going to be, as always, I mean, we said it all last year, but especially come playoff time, it becomes a really, really big phase of the game.
Lewis County is going to be kicking off to start this game, and their kicker, Aiden Oldacre, will tee the ball up at the 40-yard line in the center of the field. And going back deep for the Polar Bears, Damani Johnson, Navon Jones, and Taryn and Chris Wilson. Johnson in the middle, flanked by Wilson and Jones. And here is the kick, and it's a squib kick, and it is going to roll down and be followed on at about the 24-yard line by Taryn Boda, and that's where it'll be first down and 10 coming up for the Polar Bears now. They'll set the football down at the 23, and the Polar Bears will have the football first. Fairmont's quarterback, Brody Whitehair, if he has an injury-free season, he most likely will become the all-time leading passer in school history. He needs just over 1,300 yards to reach that. And Fairmont Senior starts out now with an empty backfield set. Whitehair is back to pass. Lots of time, looks down the field. Now comes to the near side, and he's going to be hit and brought down, sacked behind the line of scrimmage at about the 18-yard line. So nobody could get open for the Polar Bears that time.
Yeah, they played an odd front there. They had a 5-man box, so they dropped 6 in coverage right off the bat. So they're definitely going to try to play the pass. It looks like, I think, a lot tonight.
So a 5-yard loss on that quarterback sack, and Fairmont looks at a 2nd down and 15. Sometimes early on, the Polar Bears like to go deep on that first play from scrimmage. We might see them now go back to a little more of the short game. And Whitehair back to pass. Short pass, far side, caught by Dinger. And he goes down, drops the ball at the 22-yard line, and it'll be a gain of about 4 yards on the play. And it'll bring up a 3rd down and 11 for the Polar Bears.
Yeah, it looks Lewis County is trying to play a lot of coverage right now. They're trying to back off a little bit, trying to give the underneath routes.
And 11 for your Fairmont Senior Polar Bears.
So 3rd down coming up for the Polar Bears, 11 yards to go. The line of scrimmage is the 21-yard line. Fairmont moves from left to right, and Whitehair back to pass, sets up far side of the field. Short pass caught by Navon Jones, but Jones is hit after a short gain at about the 27-yard line, and the Polar Bears will have to give up the football.
Yeah, that time they only brought 3, rushed 3, dropped 8. So when that happens, especially on 3rd and 11, there's not a lot of windows to throw the football.
So the Polar Bears on that quick pass to the far side, just about a gain of 3 yards on the play. This is a hot evening tonight. Kickoff temperature 91 degrees.
Yeah, a lot of first game jitters, obviously, but it's something they're going to have to manage tonight.
There was a flag on the play, a dead ball foul, personal foul against the Polar Bears. So that will be assessed at the end of the play, which means it's still going to be 4th down, but it will take the football back inside the 15-yard line. They'll mark it down at about the 13. So a 13-yard personal foul penalty against the Polar Bears. And Dinker will be in to punt. Line of scrimmage, the 13. Good snap. Dinker punts it away off the side of his foot, and it heads towards the 20-yard line. And Dinker tries to let it roll forward, but it doesn't, and it's down at the 14-yard line in Polar Bear territory, and that's where the Minutemen will get the football on their first possession at the Polar Bear 14.
Yeah, we'll have to see how we respond to a little adversity here. We, obviously this first possession offensively did not go the way we wanted to, and obviously we're going to be in a difficult situation defensively, so let's see how we respond.
1st down and 10, the clock at 10:55 to go in the first quarter. Wing T offense for the Minutemen.
Yeah, as Coach Bardick said in the pregame, Jeff, very important to read your keys. Don't get caught up in all the motion. Make sure you stay at home when you need to.
Quarterback is just a sophomore. His name is Eli Jones, not very big. 2 running backs behind him. And handoff goes to Akerd, Owen Akerd, and he takes it off the right side to about the 13-yard line. That punt, by the way, for Cannon Dinker was a 1-yard punt. 1-yard gain for Akerd, and it'll be 2nd and 9 for the Minutemen.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how much they rely on the inside running game tonight, Jeff, because that's what they did last year, a good deal. I think they have a little more speed this year, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Garrett Moats is a wing back to the right side. And now just the running back behind the quarterback is Alex Goodwin. In motion comes Moats, and he gets the handoff, sweeping wide to the left side. He's hit by Boda inside the 15-yard line, and he's going to go down.
Yeah, they run the jet sweep with the jet motion, wing back coming straight across and getting a quick handoff. One of the things that has to happen on that jet sweep is you have to come up when you're on the perimeter, and that's exactly what Boda did on that play. So
it's going to be 3rd down. And about 9 yards to go. No gain on that play for Garrett Moats. And 3rd and long coming up for the Minutemen. Their quarterback, Eli Jones, 5'6", 130-pound sophomore. Now looking at a 3rd down. Obviously in 4-down territory, though. They have running backs in the eye behind the quarterback who's under center, and he's back to pass. Far side, the pass is caught at the line of scrimmage, and then Damani Johnson has Moats and brings him down for no gain on the play.
Yeah, they're running a little flood pass to the right. Moats out in the flat. Tried to overload that side with all the routes, and nice job by Fairmont defensively with DeMonte Johnson coming and make a play.
Aiden Oldacre has come into the game for the Minutemen. And it's going to be 4th down and 9 yards to go. And Oldacre will attempt a field goal from the 20-yard line. That makes it a 30-yard kick from the far hash marks, so it'll be an angle to his left as he kicks towards the small parking area. The snap rolls to the holder. The kick is up, and the kick is good. Just gets over the crossbar. Timeout on the field. 8:37 to go, first quarter. It's Lewis County 3, Fairmont Senior nothing on 93.1 WFGM. With just 4 minutes gone in this game, but that's where it is. Lewis County 3, Fairmont nothing. I should also mention that Sam Flower has been doing some punting for the Polar Bears and could have been the starting punter tonight, but he's playing soccer this evening. He's a soccer player first, football player second, and so Cannon Dinger in and did the punting tonight. So the kick will go from right to left. Wilson, Jones, and Johnson back to return. He squibbed it the first time, and he squibs it this time, and it is going to be picked up at the 25-yard line by Chris Wilson. He runs laterally to the left up to the 35, smothered there and brought down, and it'll be a 1st and 10 for the Polar Bears in their own territory. The ball just over the 35-yard line.
Yeah, good field position to start out with. Let's see how we can start with this second drive.
Got to be better than the first one as the Polar Bears went backwards on their first possession. 1st down 10 at the 36. 8:30 on the clock. We're in the first quarter, and the Minutemen have scored first and lead it 3-0. Whitehair hands it off to Johnson up the middle. Johnson spins away from the tackler, gets to the 45 and up to the 47-yard line, then surges forward and gets the 1st down up to the 48.
Yeah, play the odd stack right there, and they have about 6 in the box primarily, and a great job of Fairmont Senior offensive line getting hats on the inside zone play.
Junior center for the Polar Bears. Tristan Ramsey up over the ball. 1st down 10, and there's a fumble on the snap, and Whitehair sees it go between him and Johnson falls on it behind the line of scrimmage back at the 43. So that'll be a loss of 5 yards on the play. So definitely the first few minutes of this game looks like a first game for Fairmont Senior. 3 receivers to the right side now on a 2nd down and 15. Quarterback Whitehair gives it to Taryn Boda off the left side, out over the 45, the 50, and then crashes down to about the 46-yard line. Hit and brought down there by Alex Goodwin, but a nice gain for the junior Taryn Boda down to the 46.
Yeah, they're on the stretch play to the left, and very important for a tackle to get a nice seal on that stretch block. And Powers Johnson did a really nice job on that play with great effort, staying with it.
Taryn Boda gives the Polar Bears a 3rd and 4 now with the ball at the 46-yard line. And there is the give to Boda again off the left side. Bottled up, breaks free, gets back to the line of scrimmage, breaks free again, and then goes down at about the 44-yard line. So he'll get 2 yards, and it didn't look like he was going to get anything.
yeah, that's a play that they got a little penetration that time, and those are big plays as you go through the season because you don't take those negative yardage plays. He still made something happen and still give them a chance here on 4th down.
4th down, 3 yards to go from the 45, and the Polar Bears will go for it here. Brock Martin, a wide out to the left side. 2 running backs on either side of quarterback Whitehair, and he's back to pass. Now chased out of the pocket. He's in big trouble, and he's going to be sacked back at the 40-yard line.
Yeah, it looks like they brought a little pressure for the first time. Then they've been staying back in coverage, but they brought pressure that time, and we didn't handle it very well.
So a 16-yard loss on a quarterback sack on 4th down and 3. And the Polar Bears have given up the football for the second time, although now they're going to mark it at the 45-yard line. So it'll be an 11-yard loss on the play. And we have a timeout on the field at the change possession. 6:10 to go, first quarter. It's Lewis County 3, Fairmont nothing on 93.1 WFGM. The Polar Bears with a high-powered offense that has minus 2 yards after 2 possessions, and now will be on defense again with Lewis County leading 3-0. The clock showing 6:10 to go in the first quarter, and certainly not the kind of start the Polar Bears were looking for.
No, Jeff, this looks like a first game, and I mean that's to be expected, but it definitely not the start we want. But we just have to regroup right here, respond to adversity the right way.
There's help wanted. Just whistle.
So now the defense will come back out onto the field. Nothing wrong with the way the defense played on Lewis County's first possession because they didn't give an inch. But the Minutemen had control of the football at the Fairmont 14 to start the drive, so they then kicked a field goal on 4th down. Thus, they lead 3-0. Now the quarterback, Eli Jones, comes back up under center. Running back's in the eye behind him. And he is back on a play action, then hands it off, and it goes to Akert, and Akert is grabbed by the jersey by Bigelow and thrown to the turf for a loss on the play of about a yard back to the 46.
I'll tell you, Jeff, I'm watching Bigelow. One of the things that he does so well and so advanced for a high school player is being able to use his hands the way he does and shed blocks. It just really, really powerful player, and is doing a really good job with that.
Trevor Bigelow started coming to Polar Bear practices when he was about 8 or 9 years old and really hasn't missed since then. And now he's not built like a 9-year-old at 6'4", 275 pounds. It's 2nd down and 11 for the Minutemen. Moats goes in motion. Quarterback hands it off to Goodwin, goes left then right, then he is smothered at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Coach Barwick was talking about playing team defense and being selfless, and right there was just a lot of a really good example of that on that play. They all filter the ball carry to each other, and just really good job of playing team defense with Fantasia coming up.
Tom Fantasia, another transfer from East Fairmont for the Polar Bears, starting a linebacker. Outside linebacker for this Polar Bear team, and it's 3rd and 10 now for the Minutemen. The ball at the 45 in Polar Bear territory. Lewis County leads 3-0. Quarterback under center, or in the shotgun rather, and he hands it off to Goodwin, trying to get outside to the right, and he gets back to the line of scrimmage and then is pushed out of bounds, maybe a yard down to the 44, and that'll be all, and a 4th down punting situation coming up for Lewis.
Yeah, if you're going to try to run a perimeter sweep into the boundary, you have to set get the block on the edge, and there's just no chance that time. We just came up too strong.
Punting situation for the Minutemen now. And Owen Akert is the punter. The line of scrimmage is the 44 in Fairmont territory. He'll stand inside his 45 at the 43. Canfield Martin are back deep. Punt rolls, snap rolls to him, but he gets a nice punt off, floats to the far side, and goes out of bounds. So there'll be no return, and the Polar Bears will get the football again for the third time without a first down.
Out of bounds, Fairmont Senior 21-yard line.
I tell you, early on, credit this Lewis County team. I know it's early, but they're not getting a lot of yards on offense, obviously, but they're hanging around so far.
The ball is going to be set down over the 20 at the 21-yard line, and the Polar Bears go 1st and 10 from there. Fairmont, no first downs, and 3 negative yardage plays on their first 2 possessions. Quarterback Whitehair has 2 running backs on either side of him. Boda gets the handoff wide to the left. Boda gets out over the 25 and up close to the 30-yard line. Late flag is thrown. And Boda with a nice gain for the Polar Bears. Would have been close to a first down, but there's a penalty on the play.
Yeah, I couldn't tell, but it looked like it could have been a horse collar or something against Lewis County, I think.
Looks like the way the Minutemen are moving, it is going to be against Lewis.
Tell you, that time we ran a ISO play. That was just very well blocked.
Face mask, 15-yard penalty against the Minutemen, and the Polar Bears get a first down by penalty after a nice gain of 9 yards for Taryn Boda.
Yeah, I like the play call there with going with the ISO play, kind of get the offensive line lathered up a little bit.
The ball's at the 46 in Fairmont territory now. First down and 10. Whitehair back to pass. Lofts one downfield for Brock Martin, and he can't quite get to the pass. Right hand extended, but couldn't bring it in, and it'll bring up a second down and 10.
Yeah, just ran a vertical go route with Martin down the seam, and Martin just overthrew it just a hair.
That was a touchdown. If the pass was right on target, Brock Martin scores his first Polar Bear touchdown. But now it's going to be second down and 10. Cannon Dinger, receiver, shifts from the right side to the left now. And the Polar Bears go second down and 10 from the 46-yard line. And Boda gets a handoff off the right side. He gets to the 45, spins away from a tackler at the 50, goes down to the 46, but there's a flag on the play again.
Tackled by number 55, Garrett Smith, but there is a flag on the play.
Play ends at the 47-yard line, but a flag thrown during the play, holding against the Polar Bears, and the flag is back at about the 48-yard line, and most likely that's where the penalty will be assessed from. So it'll be a gain of a couple of yards for Taryn Boda, and then the penalty assessed from there. So the ball comes back to the 39 in Fairmont territory. Lewis County leads 3-0. 3:23 on the first quarter clock. It's turning, and the Polar Bears have the ball with an empty backfield set. 3 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Whitehair. Quick pass, far side, caught by Dinger at the 35, the 40, the 45, the 50. Down the sidelines at the 40 and run down close to the 30-yard line, and there are no flags on the play.
I tell you, Jeff, when you have skilled guys, there's only one football that can be in the air at a time. But I tell you what, the key thing is being able to make blocks, and Logan Canfield, just excellent job on that play. Very unselfish play, very, very nice block.
That's a 29-yard pass play, a Polar Bear first down at the 33 in Lewis County territory. Clock shows 2:50 to go. Whitehair back to pass. Brody, lots of time now. Runs upfield, takes it inside the 25, down to the 20, runs out of bounds, and there's a flag on the play in the backfield in the area where it most likely will be holding against Fairmont Senior.
Number 4, Brody Whitehair on the scramble. There is a flag on the play. The holding.
It is another holding penalty against the Polar Bears. Looked like it might have been Trevor Bigelow called for that one.
You know, sometimes early on, every ref crew is a little bit different, and it's kind of like a baseball game with an umpire. You got to kind of see how they call it, and so it's just one of those things you got to kind of fill it out early on. But sometimes they're a little more specific with how they call things, but you just got to figure it out early on here.
So now it's 1st and 10 for Fairmont. The ball back at the 42-yard line, 1st and 20 rather, and the handoff goes to Damani Johnson. Damani cuts inside a Martin block, down to the 35, close to the 30, and brought down there. It'll be at the 31. It'll be an 11-yard gain for senior Damani Johnson.
Tell you what, Trevor Bigelow just responded very well to that penalty with a combination block that was very well executed, and then got a third block. So just great effort that time.
So now it's 2nd down and 9. The ball on the 31-yard line near hash marks. Fairmont moves from left to right, and officials time at the line of scrimmage.
We have an official timeout.
Problem with one of the Minutemen. Apparently he's got a cut on his elbow. That is resolved, and the Polar Bears now back up to the line of scrimmage wearing the all blue pants, jerseys, and white numbers, white helmets. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Calger tight end to the left. Play action. Whitehair downfield. Caught by Martin at the 10, the 5. He's into the end zone. It's a Polar Bear touchdown. Brock Martin catches a 31-yard TV pass from Brody Whitehair, and the Polar Bears lead it 6-3.
Yeah, very well executed. Ball placement was really good that time by Whitehair, and Martin just plucked it out of the air with his hands just like you're supposed to. Speaking of high pointing the ball, that's exactly what he did on that play. Nice job.
Extra point attempt now for the Polar Bears. Cam Pescia will be kicking, and Logan Canfield is the holder. The kick will go from left to right. Ball is down, the kick is up, and the kick is good. Timeout on the field with 1:40 to go, first quarter. It's the Polar Bears 7, Lewis County 3 on 93.1 WFGM. A 31-yard touchdown pass from Brody Whitehair. And for Whitehair, that is his 60th career touchdown pass.
Yeah, just going back to that play real quick, Jeff, Whitehair showed the experience of being a senior veteran quarterback and standing in that pocket. He took a little shot at the end, but stood in there, delivered the ball on time, delivered it where it needed to be, and it was just a solid job. Nice job.
So now Fairmont will kick off from left to right, and Cannon Dinger will be doing the kicking for the Polar Bears. Last year, Dinger would amaze you because he would take about a 3-step drop before he ran up and kicked the ball. And it would still get a lot of distance on it.
Yeah, I think he did about everything but sell tickets last year.
Big season on both sides of the ball and also on some kickoffs. There is his kick. This one's end over end but short, heads towards the sidelines and rolls out of bounds. So just after we praised him, he kicks it out of bounds, and Lewis will get the ball at the 35-yard line.
Yeah, I like the idea of trying to fit the ball in between the hash and the sideline. It really helps your kick coverage team, but that's the risk you run when you try to be too perfect with it. So, but I do like the idea.
Lewis County will start their possession at the 35-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 Minutemen.
Last night football season officially started here at the stadium, and North Marion came from behind and beat East Fairmont 28-21. Minutemen send their quarterback Eli Jones out onto the field now. His team looks at a 1st down and 10 at its own 35-yard line. The Minutemen have just 1 yard total offense here as we wind down the first quarter. Polar Bears lead 7-3. Quarterback up under center, and he hands it. This time it comes to Goodwin, and he is upended by Dinger, but he gets a nice gain out to about the 43-yard line.
Yeah, pretty well blocked play. No motion or anything. It was just to the fullback is just a straight belly play, and it's pretty well executed.
Mark it at the 43 and call it 2nd down and 2 for Lewis County now. Their center is Jackson Koger. He comes out over the football. It's 2nd down and 2 yards to go. Quarterback up under center. Wing backs left and right. On a 2nd and short play, inside a minute to go. And there is the handoff to Goodwin, and Goodwin is hit in the backfield and then dropped at the line of scrimmage. It was Caleb Arbogast who had him first. And there's no gain on the play. It'll be, give him a yard, make it 3rd down and 1.
Yeah, another veteran presence there inside with Arbogast. He is so strong inside, and he's another one that knows how to use his hands very well, has the wrestling background, and it shows throughout his game all the time on both sides of the ball.
Lewis County has had 5 rushing plays of either 0 or 1 yard. And that's out of 6. 3rd down and 1 at the 44. Polar Bears crowd the line of scrimmage. Moats comes in motion. Deep handoff to Goodwin, and Goodwin is hit again by Arbogast. It's a loss on the play, and a late flag is thrown.
There's a flag on the play.
Officials having a conference. It looks from body language it's going to be personal foul against the Polar Bears, and it is. Dead ball.
Dead ball, personal foul on
Play counts
senior.
back to the 42-yard line, so a 2-yard loss for Goodwin, and then a 15-yard penalty against the Polar Bears.
Yeah, this is one of the things. I mean, football is always going to be an emotional game, and you know that's a given. But you know, you got to know how to control that emotion. And that's something that we've got to really do a good job of that this year to make sure we don't put ourselves in bad positions like this.
First quarter runs out here at East West Stadium in Fairmont. After 1, the score, the Fairmont Polar Bears 7, Lewis County 3 on 93.1 WFGM. Lackluster first quarter. The Polar Bears lead at 7-3. The officials tonight: referees Kevin Smith, umpire Smoke Conaway, line judge Jeremy Van Horn, linesman Ron Sandrath, field judge Daniel Holbert. Mike Van Horn is the side judge, and the back judge is Dennis Cutler. They will be taking some extra timeouts tonight. Some timeouts will be just a little bit longer because of the heat that we're experiencing, not just tonight, but the last few weeks. This has been a very hot August for the start of football season.
Yeah, and I mean, in some ways, a lot of the coaches like the, teams have to battle through the tough weather when it's hot, and it gives them a little more prepared. But, you know, obviously safety is always the first thing, and I'm glad they're doing that.
So it's going to be first down and 10 now for the Minutemen after that Polar Bear penalty gave them that first down. First down 10. Wing back to the right side now. And the quarterback back to pass, off-balance pass, and it is caught nicely at the 42-yard line by Moats. Damani Johnson very close to getting an interception, but it goes for just about nothing. The ball is at the 42-yard line, 2nd and 9.
Yeah, it was pretty much a 3-4 look by Coach Bartic on that play, kind of like what you'd see kind of like in an NFL defense, and they brought 5 guys that time, and the offensive line had a very difficult time trying to pick that up that time.
Calgar is on the front line for the Polar Bears with Arbogast and Bigelow. It's 2nd down and 9, and officials time at the line of scrimmage. And Dom Fantasia is being sent to the sidelines. And coming in his place is Taryn Boda.
Yeah, we talk about the competition with all the talent they have on this team, but another byproduct is having the depth, and that's very important on a night like tonight.
2nd down and 9 for the Minutemen at the Fairmont 42-yard line. Wing back, Moats goes in motion, gets the handoff, comes back the other way to Akert, and Akert takes it inside the 40, the 35, the 30, drags defenders with him down to the 24-yard line, and it's going to be a gain of 18 yards on the play.
Yeah, they run a play. It's a staple of the wing tee offense. It's called a crisscross. They bring jet motion, and then they bring the wing back on the opposite side, kind of like an inside reverse. And one of the things that has to happen is we have to stay at home when we have motion away. That time, Lewis County caught us chasing a little bit that time, and so they came up with a big play.
Lewis County trails the Polar Bears 7-3, but the Minutemen in Fairmont territory and deep now at the 24-yard line. That is their 2nd first down. The first one earned, though. The other was by penalty. And here is the quarterback mix up in the backfield. Then he just throws it towards Moats and Akert, and the pass falls incomplete. He underhanded it, but it's a forward pass, incomplete, and it brings up a 2nd down play.
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of Doug Flutie on that play. He was just trying to make something happen, but way too much pressure to get that ball off that time. We just did a really good job of getting in the backfield.
So 2nd down and 10 from the 24. The Minutemen wearing the white uniforms, gray helmets, gray numbers, moving from left to right, trailing by 4, 7-3. 2nd down play, quarterback Jones wants to pass, off balance downfield, and the pass is almost intercepted by Brock Martin at the 2-yard line. He was the only one in the area, but he couldn't quite bring it in. It was just a little bit too far away from him.
No, and I'll tell you, Jones that time paid dearly for getting that ball off. Arbogast got a clean shot on him. It was a clean play. He just unloaded on. He was releasing the ball. It was a really nice play.
Eli Jones is a first-year varsity quarterback, and he's just a 130-pounder. It's 3rd down and 10 now from the 24. He's completed 2 of 5 passes tonight for 1 yard. 3rd down and 10, and there is the quick handoff to Goodwin. Goodwin off the right side, gains maybe a yard. That'll be all. Wrapped up and brought down there quickly, a gain of a yard, and it'll be 4th down and about 8 yards to go. Ball comes down to the 23-yard line.
Yeah, nice to see our interior really stuffing that play. The inside run gave us a little bit of problems last year with the fullback. Of course, they had the big kid, but this Polar Bear interior defensive front, the whole defensive line is going to be really hard to run against this year.
Lewis County's taking a lot of time. I think they're just going to call a timeout as the play clock winds down inside 10. And that's what they're going to do. Timeout on the field with 9:22 on the clock in the 2nd quarter. The score, Fairmont 7, Lewis 3 on 93.1 WFGM.
Qualification.
9:22 on the clock here in the second quarter. Fairmont 7, Lewis County 3. This is the 34th time these two teams have played. The Polar Bears have a big lead in the all-time series, 28-5. In fact, the last time Lewis has beaten the Polar Bears, it was in 2014. Fairmont's won 9 in a row. Their coach, Dustin Koger, has never beaten the Polar Bears. He's lost all 9 of those games while he's been head coach.
I'll tell you, Jeff, though, real quick about this Lewis County program, and in particular Coach Koger. I know him. He's done a really good job with this program, and it seems like every year he gets the most out of them that he can get. And last year for that team to become a playoff team, that was a really big credit to their whole team, and obviously him as well as the head coach and the whole staff. Really, really good job.
Old Acre is going to attempt a 40-yard field goal. Now, he did connect on a 30-yarder, but it barely made it in the first quarter. His kick will go from left to right, same angle he had in the first quarter. He's on the near hash marks, sharp angle to his left, and here is the kick, but it's partially blocked, and it'll hit down at the 10-yard line and roll towards the 3 inside the 2, and it's going to be down there. Dustin Koger had a quick conversation with the official. Not sure what that was about, but the Polar Bears did not make an attempt to return that blocked field goal, and the ball is going to be set down at the 2-yard line. And I'm wondering, Ray, and I just watched that, if they knew they could return it.
Yeah,
because there was definitely room to return it, and
Yeah.
Fairmont just kind of was watching it, maybe thinking it'd go to the end zone, but didn't look like it.
Yeah, they were being pretty cautious.
So now the ball is back at the 2, and it's going to be first down and 10 for the Polar Bears. Long way to go. And Whitehair comes out now. He's in the pistol formation. Gives it off to Chris Wilson off the right side. Wilson gets out over the 5. He's up to the 10, the 15, the 20, the 25, the 30. Blockers ahead of him inside the 50, down to the 40. Flag is thrown away from the play, and Chris Wilson will take it into the end zone. It's a Polar Bear touchdown that is coming back for a block on the sidelines that had nothing to do with the play. It was 30 yards away from where Chris Wilson was.
Yeah, and this will be a very big teaching moment come when they watch film. I'm sure Coach Bartic will be going over this. This is something that can't happen. I mean, if you have a play and it's 40 yards down the field, and then you have something come behind it that has no relevance to the play, that's something that just can't happen. This team is going to be in critical situations all throughout the year, and that's something that we can't afford to have happen. So I know this will be a teachable moment for this team.
Tristan Ramsey and Deshaun Floyd were the 2 players in the area. The officials are still having a conversation. It's at the 45 on the near hash mark, near sideline even. And Chris Wilson was all the way on the other side. They could barely see him from where they were.
Yeah, and it's hard because I know obviously you want to be aggressive. You want to go to the whistle, and that's something. But you have to learn when the time to back off, especially if a play is going to have, or a block will have no relevance, to the play. So it'll be something they're going to learn from.
Another 15-yard penalty and negates a 98-yard run by Wilson, but he still gets a 43-yard run out of it, and a Polar Bear first down. The ball set down now at the 30. It was a face mask personal foul called against the Polar Bears. So now, first down and 10, Polar Bears at their own 30-yard line, leading 7-3. Inside 9 minutes to go here in the second quarter from East West Stadium in Fairmont. Damani Johnson, the running back, and play action pass, and it's Whitehair on a keeper up to the 35-yard line. Brody's not supposed to run the ball tonight, and I don't know what the mix-up was on that. He didn't hand it off and then was forced to run up to the 35.
Yeah, that's something I know they want to be really mindful of as they go through this game tonight.
5-yard gain on the play, and it's going to bring up second down and 5. Johnson behind Whitehair on this second and short with the ball at the 35-yard line. 3 receivers to the right side, and Whitehair passes it over to Dinger, who drops the ball, and it's ruled a pass and not a lateral, and it's called incomplete at the 30-yard line.
Yeah, Whitehair made a good decision. They just didn't execute the play, but they were bringing field pressure, in other words, from the outside, the wide side of the field, and it was the right read. We just didn't execute the pass, the catch.
So now it's going to be third down, 5 yards to go. The ball at the 35 in the center of the field as the Polar Bears move from right to left with 3 receivers to the left, 2 to the right, so no backs. Whitehair to pass, launches it downfield for Navon Jones, but he overthrows him by about 5 yards, incomplete, brings up a 4th and 5.
Yeah, it looked like, Jeff, we got cover 3 that time, 3 deep coverage, and it looked like we were running multiple vertical routes, and that's how you beat cover 3. We had it down the seam, but we just overthrew it a little bit.
Polar Bears look like they'll go for it here. They punted on their first possession, and it was a 1-yard punt, so maybe thinking might as well try here on a 4th and 5. So empty backfield. Whitehair looking to pass. Lots of time. Launches it over the middle for Dinger. Wide open. Catches it at the 40 and then gets away from a lot of defenders. Takes it to the sidelines at the 35 and is brought down at about the 30-yard line. It'll be a gain from the 35 to the other 30-yard line, and the Polar Bears will have it first down and 10 on a 35-yard pass play.
Yeah, Lewis County brings 3 and drops 8 and rushes 3, and you have to be patient. Wait till you see that window, and he found it.
First down 10, Polar Bears. Handoff up the middle to Damani Johnson at the 30, the 25, the 20. He cuts inside, then back outside and goes down at about the 10-yard line. It'll be a gain of 20 yards for Damani Johnson.
Yeah, this Polar Bear offense and Coach Sampson's starting to get a little rhythm now. And one of the things they're so good at is just determining what the defense is giving them. And right now they're giving them a soft look with coverage and not a lot of people in the box.
The ball is on the 10, so they can't get a first down. It'll be first down and goal to go from the 10-yard line. Martin wide left, 3 receivers right. Canfield, Dinger, and Cumberledge. Whitehair back to pass. Over the middle, the pass is caught by Canfield in the end zone. It's a Polar Bear touchdown.
Yeah,
Whitehair to Canfield. It's a 10-yard pass play, and the Polar Bears score again.
Yeah, I love the tempo with that drive, Jeff. We really put the foot on the gas, and you could tell by the end it was starting to wear the Lewis County pass rush down. They weren't even rushing on that play. So, plenty of time for Whitehair to find somebody to throw to.
Peschel ready to kick the extra point from right to left. Canfield holds. Kick is up, and the kick is good. Timeout on the field, 6:59 to go until halftime. It's the Polar Bears 14, Lewis County 3 on 93.1 WFGM.
Your trusted name in commercial restaurants.
Jeff Carpenter.
So, Ray, that was the Polar Bear team we were expecting to see tonight, the way they just took the ball at their own 2-yard line and took it down the field. Big plays on both the ground and in the air.
Yeah, and I tell you, Jeff, as an offensive lineman, I know I probably speak for probably all offensive linemen. I used to love to go no huddle because the product of that is at the end of that drive where you saw those defensive linemen were worn out, they were gassed, and they could not sustain really a big pass rush, especially on a night like tonight.
Cam Peschel is going to kick off this time. Dinger kicked off the last, but it went out of bounds. So Peschel will kick now from the center of the field at the 40. And here is his kick. And the Polar Bears were offsides on the kickoff. So they'll take it back 5 yards, and he'll kick it again.
Offsides, Fairmont senior.
The good news for the Polar Bear fans is that's a 5-yard penalty, and that's the first of the 6 penalties against the Polar Bears tonight that's been a 5-yarder. All the others have been 15 or
5-yard penalty means Fairmont senior will now be
10.
from 35.
Yeah, I think 1 or 2 10s and the rest 15s. So it's going to be at the 35 now, and Pescia will kick again. And this kick is high, end over end, and it is going to be caught at the 15-yard line. It's taken out over the 20 to the 25, and then up to about the 26-yard line. And that was Akerd on the return, and it'll be Lewis County football with 6:53 to go in the first half.
I'll tell you, I really like how Canfield plays. He I mentioned earlier on a block on a little bubble screen, and then coming down on special teams like that. I mean, he just does the things that a lot of people are probably not willing to do most times on most teams, but he's kind of an unsung hero for this football team.
He is. When you start mentioning Polar Bears really good players, Canfield somehow gets left near the end, but he has been a big player for the Polar Bears last season and most likely again this year. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 25. In motion goes Moats, and there is the handoff. Ball coming this way, taken out over the 26, up close to the 30-yard line by Akerd, and smothered by about 3 or 4 Polar Bears at that point. But it'll be a gain of about 3 yards on the play, maybe 4. See where they put it down. It'll be marked down now at the 30. So give him 4, make it 2nd down and 6.
That's a positive play for Lewis County. I mean, to be in 2nd and 6 or 2nd and 5, I mean, that is going to be something that keeps things manageable, keeps their whole playbook open.
2nd and 6 with the ball at the Lewis 30. Polar Bears lead 14-3, 6:13 to go, first half. Under center is Eli Jones. This time it is Goodwin, and Goodwin takes it out over the 35, grabbed by Boda, but he carries him up to about the 39-yard line.
Yeah, another well-executed play by the right side of that Lewis County offensive line, and nothing real complicated. It was just a base block belly play.
And a 9-yard gain for Goodwin, and a Lewis first down. That's its 3rd. The ball at the 39 in Minutemen territory. Clock turns inside, 5:45 to go in the first half. Center, Jackson Koger over the ball. From his own 39, quarterback Eli Jones hands the ball off, and the Polar Bears have Goodwin, or Akerd rather, brought down behind the line of scrimmage back at a 38-yard line.
Tell you what, if you want to see how to fill a whole lot, Hunter Bigelow that time coming through, filling an A gap. That's the way to do it.
Hunter Bigelow is a cousin to Trevor Bigelow, and there's one more Bigelow who's transferred here, and that is Parker, who's just a sophomore. So it's going to be 2nd down and 11 now for the Minutemen with the ball at the 38 in their own territory, trailing 14-3. Wing back to the right side is Moats. He goes in motion, gets the handoff, and he is grabbed by Trevor Bigelow and brought down for a big loss on the play, back at about the 32-yard line.
Yeah, Bigelow just too experienced, too strong there. They were trying to run a little perimeter play. He does a nice job of leveraging the outside, the wide side of the field, keeping his outside arm free the way you're supposed to, and just played that really well.
Ball set down at the 32, so it's going to be 3rd down and about 18 yards to go for the Minutemen now. They need to take it almost to midfield for a first down. And big plays, not necessarily one of the strong points of this Lewis team. There's a deep handoff to Goodwin. Sweeping wide to the right, but a flag is down at the line of scrimmage. False start called against the Minutemen. So Lewis gets its 2nd penalty of the night. 20 yards in flags for the Minutemen. For the Polar Bears, they got that beat. 72 yards in penalties, 6 flags. So now 3rd down and about 23 yards to go for the first down. Ball back at the 27. Clock turns, inside 4 minutes to go in the half. Lewis, quarterback. Jones back to pass, getting lots of pressure over the middle. The pass is incomplete. In the area, trying to get to the pass was Aiden Oldenker, but a lot of pressure applied by Taryn Boda on the quarterback, and it's going to bring up a 4th down and long.
Yeah, and I think you're going to see throughout this year with the way our defensive backfield can play with the pass rush. They're already talented a group and they can cover for long periods of time, but it's going to allow them to take some chances this year, be pretty aggressive on some routes, and so it's going to be some big plays this year, I think, with our defensive backfield.
Canfield and Martin are back to return for the Polar Bears. And Akert's punt is blocked. Fantasia got a hand on it, and the Polar Bears recover inside the 12-yard line at the 11. So Chris Wilson falls on the ball. Fantasia got a hand on it on the block punt, and the Polar Bears have the football deep in Minutemen territory now, close to the 10. 3:48 to go, second quarter. Polar Bears up 14-3, looking for more.
I really want to point out that play with Fantasia that time. That was a really smart play as far as going to what we call the block point instead of trying to go right to where the punter was punting the ball. He made a good decision to kind of hold up a little bit and make sure he didn't run into him.
So now the Polar Bears have the football, and there's a timeout called at the line of scrimmage by Lewis County. 3:48 to go, second quarter. Timeout with a score. Fairmont Senior 14, Lewis 3 on 93.1 WF. The offense for an opportunity to score with the ball at the Lewis 11.
Yeah, special teams. We talk about the offensive defensive phases, but special teams is a very important phase. You think about how many plays in the course of a game that are special teams. It's a lot more than what people think.
Whitehair back in the shotgun. Boda to his right. Brody's thrown 2 touchdown passes tonight. Navon Jones wide to the right, comes in motion, and quarterback Whitehair lofts it towards the sidelines, and the ball is taken into the end zone. It's a Polar Bear touchdown. Jeff Calger catches the pass and has his first Polar Bear TD. And there's timeout on the field. The Polar Bears, on an 11-yard touchdown pass, take the lead 20-3.
When you purchase insurance from Smith Car
Brought to you by your local Parmar stores. Here's the voice of the Polar Bears, Jeff Carpenter.
Here's Cam Pesha with the extra point, right through the uprights, and there's timeout with 3:41 to go in the second quarter from East West Stadium with the score. Fairmont Senior 21, Lewis County 3 on 93.1 WFGM.
93.1 WFGM, brought to you by your local Parmar stores. Here's the voice of the Polar Bears, Jeff Carpenter.
So welcome to Polar Bear football for Brock Martin, TD pass reception, Jeff Cowger, TD pass reception, Dom Fantasia block punt. 3 transfers into Fairmont Senior this year. Now Pescia will kick off for the Polar Bears, leading 21-3. 3:41 left in the half, and Pescia's kick is end over end, high, and caught at the 9-yard line by Akerd. Carried out over the 20, up to the 25-yard line, and then close to the 27, and that'll be all.
Number 24, Akerd.
Yeah, just going back to that play, the touchdown we just had with the offensive line protection, it was really, really good on that play.
The Minutemen will begin their possession.
So now it's going to be 1st and 10 Lewis County. Ball comes back to the 28-yard line. 3:32 on the clock. The Polar Bears have all their timeouts left and expect to see them use them if Lewis has some trouble here so they can get the ball back and get the chance to score one more time.
Yeah, this Polar Bear offense does not need a lot of time, Jeff. They can score in a hurry.
Minutemen come out now. Wing back to the right side. Handoff goes to Goodwin. Goodwin takes it up to about the 30-yard line, and Logan Canfield wraps him up there and brings him down. Get about 3 yards on the play, and it'll be 2nd down and about 7 yards to go.
Looks like Lewis County trying to run a little clock here.
2nd down and 7. The Minutemen have only a couple of first downs in this game. Their quarterback Eli Jones hands it off, and Goodwin gets it, and Goodwin is hit at the line of scrimmage. He has no place to go, and Trevor Bigelow was the one who brought him down for no gain back at the 30. In fact, maybe loss of a yard. And the Polar Bears, I believe, have called a timeout. Timeout, Fairmont Senior. 2:37 to go until halftime. It's the Polar Bears 21, Lewis County 3 on 93.1 WFGM.
When it comes to vaping, the truth can be clouded. So let's make it clear. Vaping is not safe for you.
Because vaping can put microscopic particles into
Third down and 7 in its own territory at the 30-yard line. Actually, it's more like 3rd down and 8.
I'd look for Coach Bartic to be pretty aggressive here. Hadn't shown a lot of pressure thus far, but I think in this situation, this is a prime time to bring it.
Quarterback Eli Jones is up under center. He has 2 running backs behind him. That's Goodwin and Akerd. Wingback, Moats, trying to draw the Polar Bears off sides. They don't jump across the line of scrimmage, and now Lewis has to call a timeout. That was the plan. Try to get 5, couldn't do it. Call timeout, 2:37 to go until halftime. Fairmont 21, Lewis County 3 on 93.1 WFGM.
defense side of the ball.
Eli Jones under center on this third down play, and he hands it off. It goes to Goodwin. Goodwin hit at the line of scrimmage, and he has no place to go. Polar Bears had him quickly, and one of the first ones to hit him was Canfield for the Polar Bears. And timeout now called by a Fairmont senior again. Timeout with 2:27 to go in the first half. It's Fairmont Senior 21, Lewis County 3 on 93.1 WFGM.
The voice of the Polar Bears, Jeff Carpenter.
Running down near the end of the first half, the Polar Bears hungry for more with a 21-3 lead, now forcing a Lewis County punt. And Brock Martin and Logan Canfield are deep to return for Fairmont Senior. Both punts attempted tonight have been blocked. The first one recovered at the 2, the last one recovered at the 11. Minutemen ready to punt it away, and Akert punts it quickly downfield. Brock Martin fields it at the 30-yard line, running wide to the left side, giving ground back inside the 30. Now he takes it out over the 35, the 40. Flag is down at the 45, and he takes it up to about the 50-yard line.
Yeah, I think they're going to get, I think maybe a blindside block on maybe Bracero. I don't know. It looks like maybe they might throw the flag in his direction.
So the Polar Bears have had holding, personal foul, face mask, and now let's see if they get the blindside block call. So if that's the case, they've run the gamut of the major penalties now. Ball comes back to the 39-yard line. And that's where the Polar Bears will go, first down and 10.
Yeah, you don't like to see the penalties in any game, but, hopefully this becomes, the mistakes, they become teaching moments, and Coach Bardick, they'll do a great job of evaluating things and looking at what they need to correct. But you have to play to get to that point of making the mistake and knowing what they are, so they'll learn from it.
19-yard punt return for Martin. It was a block in the back called against Fairmont, 10-yard penalty. The ball comes back now to the 31-yard line, and it'll be first down and 10 with 2:11 to go in the first half. Polar Bears up 21-3, and Whitehair back to pass. Looks, now sends one downfield long for Martin. He's got it at the 30, the 20, the 10, the 5. He's into the end zone. It's a Polar Bear touchdown. A 79-yard touchdown pass for the Polar Bears, and Fairmont has taken the lead. It is 27-3.
Yeah, Jeff, I want to give a little love to Arbogast, Powers Johnson, Ramsey, Floyd, Bigelow. They did a great job on that play. The big guys up front, when you run a vertical route like that, it takes time. And Whitehair had all day to throw the football. It was just very well protected.
And I was a little generous, gave Brock 10 more yards. That's a 69-yard touchdown pass and run for Brock Martin. Extra point by Peschel is up, and it is good. Timeout on the field with 1:58 to go until halftime. It's Fairmont Senior 28, Lewis County 3 on 93.1 WFGM.
Qualifications, rules, and limitations apply. Rates, rewards.
Can score quick when things are going their way, and that's been the second half story for the Polar Bears tonight, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's one of those things that you can't stop this Polar Bear offense all night. I mean, without them making some big plays, it's going to happen. But that's something that I know Lewis County has tried to hang around a little bit, but it becomes hard when the veteran group that they have with the skill.
Peschel kicking off. It hits at the 10 and it rolls down into the end zone for a touchback. So Peschel kicks it into the end zone. Touchback gives Lewis the ball at its own 20 with 1:58 to go. And the Polar Bears on top 28-3. Brody Whitehair has thrown 4 touchdown passes. All of the touchdowns have been pass plays. And his last 3 passes have gone for touchdowns. A 10-yarder to Canfield, an 11-yarder to Cowger, and a 69-yarder to Martin.
You can see the growth and maturity of Brody. I mean, we've watched him, from the time he was a freshman all the way through. And, the biggest thing is just seeing, his poise in the pocket. He's taken a hit. And, the one play in particular, he's had the checkdowns when it's been the right time to check it down. And, of course, he's thrown the vertical routes right on the money. So, we wouldn't expect anything less from Brody. He's doing a great job so far.
So now Lewis has the ball 1st and 10 at its own 20-yard line. Jones up under center, Moats in motion. Handoff goes to the running back, and he's thrown for a loss. No gain on the play. Polar Bears were quickly on that one, and there's just no place at all for Goodwin to go. And it'll be a loss of 3, 2nd down and 7 as the ball will go back inside the 20 to the 17-yard line.
Tell you, Caleb Arbogast is a problem in the middle. Good luck if you're a center. That position's near and dear to my heart, obviously, but good luck blocking him if you're a high school center.
Because not only was Zach a center, but so were you back in the really old days. Under center is Jones, and there is the handoff again to Goodwin, and Goodwin is going to be gang tackled at about the 16-yard line. No place to go. They're going to give him the 17, so no gain. And the Polar Bears might call one more timeout. They do have 1 left.
No gain on the play.
I don't know if the scoreboard says 1. I thought maybe they called 3 in the last series, but we'll see. 46 seconds on the game clock. Play clock at 15. Scoreboard says 1 timeout left for the Polar Bears. Can't remember if they called 3 there or not.
Yeah.
We'll find out soon. Minutemen come to the line of scrimmage now. They're down in 12. Again, a deep handoff and no place. This time it's Akert who gets it, and that is he's brought down for no gain on the play. And now the Polar Bears do call a timeout, so they did have 1 left. And there's timeout Fairmont Senior. 10 seconds to go in the second quarter. And the scores, Fairmont Senior 28, Lewis County 3. Just making sure they were going to the sidelines here. Now they have officially called the timeout. This time we're going to stay right here, though, because they were late in signaling that timeout. And gives me a chance, Ray, to say you and I haven't had any time to really talk about anything but the game, but your specialty the last few years has been halftime report and updates on the Mountaineers because of your closeness to the WVU football program, but you've moved up a notch now. So I don't know what we're going to talk about at halftime. We've got a range of subjects to go. The first thing we're going to talk about, though, is the remarkable career that your son has started and how that all got into play. And as you think back on what took place after he finished his season and the heartbreak of the way it ended and then the exhilaration of draft day. So we'll talk about that coming up at halftime. We have 10 seconds to go here. Lewis is forced to punt on a 4th and 14. And remember, the Polar Bears have blocked 2. And with 10 seconds to go, the punter, Akert, stands back at his 5. He wants to get it off fast, and the Polar Bears would love to get a block, but they think even if not, now they've put time on the clock, there's 22 seconds, so Fairmont's going to have time to run at least a play or two. So Akert stands at his 5-yard line. Polar Bears lead 28-3. It's 4th and 14 for Lewis County. Clock won't start until the ball is snapped. Good snap. Punt is away. High, short, and Canfield gets it on the run and gets it and goes down at the 40-yard line, and that's where the Polar Bears will go with 14.4 seconds on the clock. 1st and 10 at the Lewis 40-yard line.
Yeah, it's little things like that, like I said, from Canfield. It's just really impressive, just understanding situational football. In a game like this, it's not going to be that big of a deal, but the field position right there that he just saved by making that catch is critical.
So the ball set down at the 40. 14 seconds, no timeouts. So Fairmont will obviously be going to the air quickly, but you take a look at Brody and you see his last 3 passes have all gone for touchdowns. And he's in the shotgun now. In motion comes Jones, and there's the touch pass to Navon Jones. Wide to the near side. Jones dragged down from behind at the 38-yard line, and that's going to be the last play. They'll not be able to get another play off on a pass play that looks like a running play, and it's stopped for a 3-yard gain. So that's the end of the first half from East West Stadium in Fairmont, and the Polar Bears are off to a good start. At the half, the score, Fairmont Senior 28, Lewis County 3. Halftime report coming up next on 93.1 WFGM. It's halftime at the stadium in Fairmont, where the Polar Bears have the lead over the Lewis County Minutemen by the score of 28-3. Hot night here at the stadium tonight. Polar Bears got off to a shaky start. That first quarter was pretty rough to watch if you're a Polar Bear fan.
Yeah, it was typical first game, I'd say, Jeff. But it's one of those things where I think that you kind of saw them settle in as they got into that second quarter, and they got their tempo down, especially with offense. They had a nice drive with the no huddle, and I think that really helps anytime an offense is struggling a little bit, trying to find their footing, to go tempo, to go a little faster. It just helps because you don't have to think as much. You're going at a faster pace. I think it's easier.
And certainly when they were able to get in that, you saw the Polar Bears passing game come to life. We had the long run by Chris Wilson. Unfortunately for Chris, there aren't too many guys who can say that in their career they had a 98-yard touchdown run. It just doesn't happen very often. And he had one. It was called back, actually cut in half by the penalty, but it was still a 43-yard run. So while it was the passing game that did most of the damage, that big run that took it from the Polar Bear 2 all the way up to near midfield really set them up in the second quarter.
Yeah, and we know throughout this it's a long season, and especially when they get into the colder months and they get into playoff football, they're going to have that run game, and of course we know the passing game is going to be there with the skill that we have, but I think this group up front can be physical, and I think that they can win the line of scrimmage, and that's something they're coached well. I know they have Coach Carell and obviously Coach Bigelow there helping out. It's just going to be, I think, a really physical group by the time it's all said and done.
It's halftime, and the Polar Bear Band is on the field. Let's listen to some of the music from the Polar Bear Band. That's the Polar Bear Band. We're at halftime at East West Stadium, and the Polar Bears have the big lead. When we come back, it'll be time to check the first half stats, scores around the state, and a conversation with Ray Frazier. Can't be any better than that. That's coming up on 93.1 WFGM. And tonight's halftime is presented by West Virginia Prevention Solutions, and the Polar Bears with a 28-3 lead over the Lewis County Minutemen. Before we check scores around West Virginia, Ray, give me a few minutes of your time now, and let's talk a little bit about exactly what transpired with you and your son Zach after his career ended with WVU. That was after we were together, obviously, the last time when he had that terrible injury that closed out his career, but that almost even made him more of a folk hero to WVU fans, the way he handled that, and then preparing for the draft and worrying how that might affect it. And wow, what was all of that like as you were going through his rehab, wondering what kind of a draft future he was going to have?
Yeah, I mean, the thing I think that really stood out about the whole process was just how he handled it. I mean, he really approached it, the right way as far as just attacking his rehab, just making sure that he could get himself as ready as he could. And obviously it was kind of, little baby steps at first. And, he's going through the process of trying to, he went to Texas to train for the combine. And, there was kind of uncertainty whether he was going to be fully ready for the combine or what availability he'd have for the combine. And then, getting to the pro day, the Big 12 pro day and all that. But just the thing with him is that he's always put, his faith in God, and, he's always done that first, and he's always, just worked hard, and that's what he did with this whole process, and, we couldn't be prouder of him as a family.
I can only imagine, because as he's going through rehab, and he had a serious leg injury. And I'm wondering, just from a dad's side of it, how Zach works, and you're probably here thinking, don't go too hard too fast.
Yeah.
Make sure you get better.
Yeah.
And take time in doing it.
Yeah, and it's hard because he only knows one way to go, and that's full go. That's the way he's always been. That's the way he'll always be. But I think the thing with him, with the whole process, was he had really good people around him, giving him really good advice. All the medical team, starting with West Virginia, but also through this whole process, they just did a really good job of making sure that he was ready, always ready for the next step before he took it. And I think he really followed everything he was supposed to do and the way he was supposed to do it. So, it's just, I just think he did it the right way.
And then you get ready for draft time, and there are all these rumors. And, of course, I'm sure he's hearing from, people, other teams, what the level of interest there might be. When you were sitting there on draft night, did you have a sense that it was going to be Pittsburgh?
We kind of, I think we knew that there was definite interest, and obviously for selfish reasons. We were obviously very ecstatic that he was picked, but by Pittsburgh. But there were teams that were definitely interested, and so it was kind of one of those things. It was a lot of unknown, a lot of uncertainty. But I just think he couldn't have went to a better organization. It's just they're first class. We've gotten to learn. Of course, you always hear about Pittsburgh and everything, but now that he's become a member of that organization, it's just phenomenal, first class. It blows me away as far as how they do things.
We all knew where Pittsburgh was on the draft board in the second round, and normally you're thinking, I want my son to go as high as he can go, but I'm sure you were sitting there thinking, hey, teams A, B, and C ahead, please don't pick him. Save him for Pittsburgh.
It was a nerve-wracking time. Of course, I was there with my wife and, of course, Zach's wife and our whole family. And we, just going through the whole process, it's very nerve-wracking. I don't know how to explain it. It's other than it's just, it's like a adrenaline rush, but then also you got a bundle of nerves, and it's so exciting, but it's also, you just don't know, because you could end up in San Francisco, you could end up in New York, Florida. You just don't know, and to be any one of those 32 options would be just phenomenal. And it's a privilege to play in that league. Obviously, he looks at it like that, but for him to end up where he did, it's just amazing. So.
And the way he's driven and the way he plays seems to fit the Pittsburgh brand, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I really think I really feel he'll be their kind of player. I mean, he's a no-nonsense guy. He's going to be blue collar. I mean, obviously he's been that his whole way through, but he loves, he knows the history there that they have of great centers. I mean, all the way dating back to Mike Webster to, Dermonti Dawson and Marquise Pouncey, all those guys. I mean, it goes on and on and on. But, he knows that he's got a big standard to uphold, and he's going to do everything in his power to uphold that.
He's a rookie, and training camp, I'm sure, is not that easy for rookies, not that easy for all of them. But tell me about those first few phone calls from Zach back to you about how things were going as he got first involved in it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of those things where it's just like starting at, this level as a freshman, as a high school level, varsity, and then coming to West Virginia as a freshman, and this, now as a rookie in the NFL. It's adjusting to the game speed, and I think that's one of the things he would say early on, that it's really fast. So whereas, and I think the level of you had precision, I guess is the best word to say, is like, with hand placement, for example, you have to be spot on. If you miss your hand placement, like he tells me, if you miss your hand placement, I mean, you're going to be in bad shape for that rep. So it's the game speed. That's the biggest thing he would say early on, that it was the biggest adjustment.
Okay, now this is not necessarily football, but I'm thinking of all of the time you've spent with him, from the time he was old enough to really do much of anything in sports. And then I'm thinking, as you're sitting there watching him go onto the field for the first time as a professional player, what's running through your mind? Yeah,
it was all of us. I mean, we all, got the opportunity to be there. Was there with my wife and, of course, his wife, and our whole family got the opportunity to experience it. And, I think it was kind of a surreal moment. You don't take it for granted. You realize that. I think it kind of hit me all at one time, and all of us, is that, just the work that he put in, the work that he put into to get there. And, that was kind of a special moment. I kind of nudged my wife, and I kind of saw him warming up, and, my brother-in-law had texted me, and he saw him warming up, and he kind of knew. He sent out a group text to everybody because he could see it before anybody else, and we just saw him, coming on the field, and it was a special moment. I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty special.
So the nice part about playing in Pittsburgh is you've got a lot of opportunities to watch him play in person now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's something that we don't take for granted, and just going up to the preseason games right now, it's amazing to see the culture that they have in Pittsburgh, and just how behind they are with their team. I mean, it's just and the knowledge that the fans have. I mean, just being up there for those two games that we've been up there so far, I mean, just hear the football conversations that are going on. I mean, they're 300, 400 level conversations, because those fans are very knowledgeable. They care about who the offensive linemen are. They want to know who those guys are, and they know about them. They know where they're from. They know their backgrounds, and I don't know that you find that on every team.
It's not your typical offensive lineman kind of a culture. Because a lot of times it's the skill people everybody knows, but sometimes those guys kind of fly under the radar.
That is correct. I told my father-in-law a couple years ago. Well, it's been a couple years ago. I was going to a game. This is before Zach came there, but I did go to a Pittsburgh game. And coming onto the field, or coming into the stadium, there was a full-go tackle football game going on with the fans, and they were tackling to the ground and going like full go. So I said, well, those are my kind of people. They love the game, obviously. So they're blue collar, and they're great fans. They really are.
Well, it's going to be a really exciting football season for you. You've got the Polar Bear games on Friday, and then on Sunday you've got the NFL games. Have you started taking a look at what's ahead for Zach and the teams and the players and the personnel and all of that yet?
Maybe.
Just a little?
A little bit. I don't know. No, I mean, he prepares. I mean, he's going to be ready. I mean, that's the thing. I know he's always taken a lot of pride and being as prepared as he can be, and he's not going to leave any stone unturned, and he's got that discipline to do that, and he's got that mindset to make sure he's ready and to be the best version of himself for his team.
Well, you know that saying about the apple and the tree, and I think that's very relevant in this situation, and I'm sure, you know, you're justifiably proud of all that he's done so far, and certainly a credit to his hometown.
Absolutely.
And not only is
absolutely.
Fairmont behind him, but West Virginia behind him, and to be a West Virginian and a Pittsburgh favorite is a little bit out of the ordinary.
Well, he feels it. I mean, he knows that, you know, it's been overwhelming, the amount of, you know, support he's received, and it's you know, it's something that he doesn't take for granted. He knows that people are behind him. People want to see him do well, and so, you know, like I said, we couldn't be more proud of him.
Zach Frazier, a Pittsburgh Steeler. Ray Frazier still by my side. We're at halftime at East West Stadium, where the Polar Bears have a 28-3 lead over Lewis County. We'll see the stats coming up next on 93.1 WFGM.
.1.
I'm winding down here at the stadium in Fairmont. Let's take a look at the first half stats. Polar Bears, not a great number in first downs, but that's what happens with big plays. 6 first downs, and Lewis County has 3. Passing yards, Fairmont Senior 182, rushing yards 88. Lewis County has 1 yard passing, 33 rushing. Total offense, Fairmont 270, Lewis County 34. Leading rusher for Fairmont, Damani Johnson and Chris Wilson, each with 43 yards. And for Lewis, 21 yards for Owen Akerd. Touchdown scorers for the Polar Bears. Brock Martin has 2 TD catches. Logan Canfield has 1 for 10 yards. Jeff Calger has 1 for 11. Martin's TD catches 31 and 69 yards. Those are the Polar Bears' 28 points. And for Lewis County, they took advantage of a short Polar Bear punt. Now, a 1 yard punt that gave them the ball at the Fairmont 14, and they eventually kicked a 30-yard field goal to lead in this game with 8:37 to go, 3-0. That was the last really bright spot for the Minutemen, though, as the Polar Bears then came on and scored 4 unanswered TDs to lead by the score of 28-3. So things seem to have settled down just a little bit now for the Polar Bears offensively. They seem to be in gear now. What are you thinking they're going to try to see they can do in the second half?
Yeah, I think we're gonna see a little bit of the same things. I mean, I think they want to see this first string offense still have a little bit of more flow, coming out in this third quarter, and hopefully can get up a little bit so they can get some of these young guys some game reps, because some of these guys will develop.
And a lot of young guys. This is a Polar Bear roster this season that has 58 players, and you know what's amazing about that? First day of practice, there were 58 players, and there are still 58 players. I don't think I've ever had a football season in my lifetime, which has been kind of long, where you had the same number for the first game that you had that came out.
And credit to all these young men, all these players, because I mean, when you go through this August month and how hot it is, and the discipline you have to go to practice every day, that's a credit to these young men. I mean, and that's going to build a lot of depth through this year, but that's really positive news to see that.
Here's Special kicking off for the Polar Bears. And his end-over-end kick is going to be secured by Moats at the 10-yard line. He comes out over the 20 and then is hit, and a flag is thrown as he goes down at about the 24-yard line.
Yeah, guess who's there? Canfield.
Logan Canfield last season actually had the most tackles of any Polar Bear defender.
I tell you, Jeff, and this is going to come as high praise for those that know the game of football pretty well. He reminds me of a high school version of a Julian Edelman, which those of you that know who he is and who he was, that's pretty high praise. I mean, he plays with that kind of fearlessness. He plays with that kind of just love for the game. He really is fun to watch.
So that penalty is on the Minutemen. That's not the way they wanted to start the second half, because now the ball comes back to the 12-yard line. Moats had taken it out to the 22 on the kickoff return, and now it's 1st and 10 from the Lewis 12. A little breezy here at the stadium now. Game time temperature was 92 degrees. It's much more comfortable now. Eli Jones, quarterback up under center. Handoff goes to Goodwin off the left side, and Goodwin gets out over the 15, and he is tackled there. It was a stop by Brock Martin, who tripped him up, but he was still able to fall forward and get some yardage all the way up to the 19.
Yeah, the thing with facing these wing T offenses is that, and Coach Bartek always does a really good job of getting his guys ready, because it's one of those offenses that if you stay disciplined with your keys and the motions and all that, it'll take you to the football.
7-yard gain, so it's 2nd down and 3 yards to go. Ball at the 19 in Lewis territory. 2 running backs behind the quarterback, who's up under center, and there's a flag at the line of scrimmage. Fairmont called for offsides. That will give the Minutemen a first down. First down number 4 for Lewis County. The Polar Bears have given them 2 on penalties. 77 yards for the Polar Bears in penalties tonight.
This is always a tough draw for Lewis County when they play Fairmont Senior first game of the year, and they've done that several times, but they will be better for it as they go through the year, just like last year.
Arbogast, Bigelow, and Cowger along the front line defensively for the Polar Bears. Eli Jones hands it off to Goodwin, and Goodwin is crushed at the line of scrimmage. There's just no place to go.
No, just great interior defense. It's really hard to get movement on those guys. They play with such great pad level, leverage, and their strength. I mean, Coach Bartek mentioned about the weight program this summer and how successful it's been, and it's amazing. Those guys are really coming on in the weight room.
2nd down and 10, no gain on the play. The ball at the 24-yard line in Lewis territory. Fairmont Senior 28, the Minutemen 3, 10-10 to go here in the third quarter. Wingback Moats goes in motion, and they fake it to him, and the ball is lost, and the Polar Bears say they've got it, and the officials have agreed, and the Polar Bears have the football.
Yeah, that was just very disruptive in there by Arbogast again. It's, that we call zero nose right there, head up on the center. That's with his background as a wrestler and the leverage and the strength. I mean, that's just a perfect recipe for that position. It always is. Coach Bartek likes them to play both A gaps, and he does that very well.
So now 10 minutes to go in the third quarter. The Polar Bears have the ball at the Lewis 20-yard line. First down and 10. Wideouts, Cumberledge and Dinger to the right side. And the handoff goes to Damani Johnson up the middle inside the 15, the 10. Angles to the sidelines at the 5 and takes it into the end zone. It's a Polar Bear touchdown. Damani Johnson, a 20-yard TD run. And the Polar Bears score again and lead it 34-3.
Hey, Jeff, he gets a great block from Deshaun Floyd on that play. Anytime a lineman can get to the second level, that's when you see those big plays like that. And Deshaun, really, really great job getting to that second level, getting locked up at that linebacker.
Fairmont senior number 2 Canfield out to the hole. Extra point attempt coming from number 40.
Peschel will attempt the extra point now. Canfield will hold. A touchdown drive for the Polar Bears. 10 seconds. Good snap. The ball is up and the kick is good. Timeout on the field. 9:50 to go. Third quarter from Fairmont. It's the Polar Bears 35, Lewis County 3 on 93.1 WFGM.
When you purchase insurance from
Running play touchdown for the Polar Bears tonight. Damani Johnson on a 20-yard run. Damani's a senior, but that's just his 5th career touchdown. And it gives the Polar Bears a 35-3 lead.
Yeah, he's going to have to play a really big role, and he will. I think he's ready. We've seen flashes of him, over the past few years, especially as a young guy, and now I think as a senior he's ready.
Akert and Moats are deep. Peschel's kick is end over end, and it hits at the 12, picked up by Moats at the 9, comes out over the 15 and up close to the 20-yard line, covered up there. And it'll be 1st and 10 for the Minutemen from that spot in their own territory at the 20. Next week, the Polar Bears return to action as Fairmont will play on the road at RCB. The Flying Eagles with a big win over Kaiser last night. They had one of those Thursday night openers and they beat them rather handily, 41-0. First down 10. Josh Gurrell, by the way, who is an old RCB coach, is on the Polar Bear coaching staff. Coaches the line. First down play. And Moats gets the handoff, and he takes it off the left side, and Rudy Carrillo will bring him down after he gets it up to about the 25-yard line, gain of about 5.
Yeah, Jeff, and you mentioned Coach Carrillo. He's going to do an outstanding job here. Obviously great pedigree. He's already been a head coach, for the years at RCB, but he's got a lot of knowledge for these linemen that he's going to impart on them and get them ready.
Up to the 26-yard line on that run by Moats. It's now 2nd down and 4 for Lewis. Moving from left to right on the far hash marks. And there is the handoff to Akert, and there's another fumble, and the Polar Bears have the football.
Fumble on the play.
Another fumble, and Fairmont Senior has taken over again. It's Caleb Arbogast on another fumble for the Polar Bears.
Yeah, if this Polar Bear defensive front can do this repeatedly throughout the year, with the skill that we have in the defensive backfield, I'd just say, it's going to make them, to where that they can play very aggressively and take chances, because the quarterback's not going to have a long time to get rid of the football.
9:01 on the clock on that change of possession. It's at the 23 now in Lewis territory. Whitehair back to pass, steps up, fires it towards the end zone, and the pass is caught. It's a Polar Bear touchdown. Navon Jones catches the 23-yard TD pass, and there's a flag on the play back at about the 25-yard line.
Yeah, I don't know if this is coming back, but that play was very well executed. That's pretty high-level stuff in the passing game.
Looks like an eligible receiver downfield is the call against the Polar Bears. So Navon Jones will have that touchdown erased out of the book. And it'll be a penalty against Fairmont, and it'll bring up first down again, first down and 15.
Yeah, Jeff, I know this is coming back, but just watching, it just impresses me every year. I know typically most high school passing games are not that complex typically because, the high school players, you're not going to have that. And we have a complex offense, really do.
First and 15, the ball comes back to the 28, and the handoff goes to Boda. Boda takes it off the right side, the 25, the 20, spins away at the 15 and takes it down to about the 10-yard line. Taryn Boda hasn't had a lot of time to carry the ball, but when he does, he's been successful from the 28-yard line down to about the 10, and it'll be another Polar Bear first down. We have a Lewis County player shaken up on the play. Ball is going to be marked at the 10, so 18 yards for Taryn Boda on that last carry, and he's up to 41 yards rushing on just 5 carries. We mentioned Josh Gurrell. We were talking about him just before Polar Bears took possession of the ball. Gurrell, longtime coach at RCB, actually was there twice, came back the second time. Then he retired or resigned, took a couple of years off, and now is back here helping the Polar Bears. He always had a good relationship with Nick Bardick. Yeah. And so it's interesting. First time I saw him here, I thought, what's Josh Gurrell doing here? And then I heard that he was now working with the line, and so they're very happy to have him.
Well, and the thing is, the advantage of having, and I know Coach Bardick would echo this, is having somebody on your staff that's been in the seat that you're in is a very nice luxury to have, because you can bounce ideas, because they've sat in that seat and they know what you're looking at.
Lewis County's Leo Jones, he's the brother of the quarterback Eli Jones, and he was injured, but he's going to be okay. He's coming off on his own. We haven't had the cramping that you typically expect, but we're getting into that time maybe where you might see some of it.
But thus far, credit to both teams because, obviously conditioning can play a big role in these first games. And I think the biggest thing is the adrenaline that flows in this first game, because you can't prepare for that until you get into this environment and in that first game environment. It's really hard to replicate that in practice. You can't do it.
So Lewis County now back on defense. The Polar Bears on offense at the 10-yard line after the nice run by Taryn Boda. It'll be first and goal. The ball just inside the 10. Boda running back behind Whitehair. Brody back to pass, sets up, now on the run, fires on the run, into the end zone, and the pass is incomplete, broken up in the end zone. Looked like it might have been Trey Cumberledge who was the intended receiver, and he's a little shaken up on the play. Pass falls incomplete, and we have an injury timeout. So timeout on the field. 8:24 to go, third quarter, Fairmont 35, Lewis County 3 on 93.1 WFGM.
Qualifications and rules apply. See institution for details.
the voice of the Polar Bears, Jeff Carpenter.
It's 2nd and goal for the Polar Bears at the 10-yard line. Whitehair hands it off to Boda. Boda goes right up the middle, then takes it inside the 5, and he takes it down into the end zone. That's a Polar Bear touchdown. Taryn Boda, a 10-yard TD run, and Fairmont scores again and leads it 41-3.
You know, one other thing you want to look at in this first game is to see, do we have hats on hats, and are we missing assignments? And, you know, the way that play was blocked, I mean, we had everybody accounted for, and that was very good to see. We're getting movement, but more importantly, we have hats on hats.
Special ready to kick the extra point for the Polar Bears. Ball gets down on the tee by Canfield after a high snap, and the kick is up, and it is good. Timeout on the field, 8:15 to go, third quarter from Fairmont. It's the Polar Bears 42, Lewis County 3 on 93.1 WFGM.
.1 WFGM, brought to you by your local Parmar stores. Here's the voice of the Polar Bears, Jeff Carpenter.
Fairmont with a 42-3 lead midway through the third quarter. And now we'll kick off from right to left. And kicking will be Sam Flower, who has apparently arrived from soccer. He was not here earlier because of soccer, but he's the brother of Nate, who is a kicker at WVU now. And here is his kick from right to left, high end over end, and Akert goes back and gets it at the 5, up to the 10, up to the 15, gets to the 20, and then it is going to be brought down over the 20 at about the 23-yard line. So Akert returns the kick, and the Polar Bears will be on defense now. Lewis County has it. 8:04 to go, third quarter. The string of consecutive TDs by pass ended after the first half. 4 straight TD passes for Brody Whitehair, and now in the second half, 2 straight running plays for touchdowns. Polar Bears, Fairmont Senior has a new athletic director, Jeremy Laird, just popping his head in the window because it's so nice and cool, I think. Don't you think that's probably why? This nice air-conditioned 85-degree booth. First down and 10, and there is Moats getting the handoff off the right side, and Moats will take it up to about the 25-yard line and up to the 26. Flag thrown on the play, though. Face mask is the call against the Polar Bears. That'll be a 5-yard penalty. The line of scrimmage was the 23. The ball is going to be set down at the 31-yard line. So the running play went to the 26. So a 3-yard gain for Moats. And it's going to be first down and about 2 yards to go for Lewis County. And there is the deep handoff. It comes to Akert. Akert running wide to the right side. He hurdles the tackler, takes it up to the 35-yard line, and he'll have a first down. Dinger and Carrillo in on the tackle for the Polar Bears. And it's going to be first down and 10 for Lewis County. Ball at the 35. 4-yard gain.
Yeah, last year we saw a little more shotgun from Lewis County. We haven't seen that tonight. They really have been they have been under center tonight. So that's an aspect of the offense that we haven't seen this year.
First down, 10 yards to go. The ball at the 35-yard line. And flags at the line of scrimmage. Penalty coming up. False start coming up against Lewis County.
Offside, Lewis County.
Fourth penalty against
5-yard penalty.
the Minutemen. Just 35 yards. Most of theirs have been the 5-yarders. Ball comes back to the 30, and it will be first down and 15. Clock turns inside 7 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Remember, we do have a running clock. A 35-point lead starting the fourth quarter means the clock will not stop except for a few different situations. First down play, Eli Jones up under center, and Jones hands it off to Goodwin. Goodwin takes it back to the line of scrimmage, and that'll be all. Dom Fantasia had a hold of him from his outside linebacker position. He had inside help as well. And there's just very little on that gain, maybe a yard. And it'll be second down. Give him 2, make it a gain of 2, and make it 2nd and 13.
Yeah, just I'm again going back to it. It just keeps drawing my attention. But Arbogast right there took on three blockers, and they couldn't handle them. So it's pretty impressive. It reminds me of Chris Zorich that used to play for Notre Dame, like that kind of just leverage.
And there is Moats getting the handoff wide to the left side, and it's Max Bracero who brings him down for a loss on the play.
By number 40, Max Bracero.
So it's going to bring up a third down and long as the loss will take it back to the 29-yard line. 4-yard loss on the play. And it's third down and 16 for Lewis County. Game clock down to 5:30. Fairmont 42, Lewis County 3. Next week, the Polar Bears play on the road at RCB. Lewis County will be at home against Braxton County. Third down and long. There is the reverse, and it goes to Moats. And Moats is dragged down and brought down by the Polar Bears' Hunter Bigelow. And he'll be stopped for no gain, and it's going to bring up a fourth down and about 16 yards to go for the Minutemen.
Yeah, very well played by Bigelow. Leveraged the outside, took on the blocker, used his hands well, and shed the blocker, kept his outside arm free, just the way you coach it.
2 Canfield, 5 Martin.
So Canfield and Martin back to return this punt, and the punter Akert just hoping it gets that far. He's had 2 of them blocked tonight. The line of scrimmage is the 28. He stands at his 16, and he just gets this one away. And it angles to the near side and goes out of bounds. And that, again, was Dom Fantasia. He's getting himself a reputation, and now a flag is thrown.
Out of bounds at the Fairmont Senior.
Well after the play. Players were headed to the sidelines when that flag was thrown. So it would have to be dead ball.
You know, Fantasia getting there, and he's obviously blocked the punt, and then obviously being in position to block some others as well. That's just a big play. And you look at most teams with pretty much when they get a kick blocked, punt block, whatever, it's very demoralizing for them. And most teams, most coaches will tell you that you don't win a game when you get a punt block. So that's a big weapon to have as we go throughout this season.
That is a 15-yard personal foul against Lewis County. Polar Bear players were walking to the sidelines when that occurred, and I thought, well, maybe one of the Fairmont players said something, but it was the other way around. Lewis County called for the penalty, and the Polar Bears now have it at the Minutemen 38 with 4:26 to go in the third quarter. Fairmont on top 42-3. The Polar Bears haven't had a lot of plays here in the second half, but they've been efficient. They've had great field position. Whitehair fakes to Wilson, Now looks to throw downfield over the middle, and the pass is caught by Trey Cumberledge. He takes it away from a defender and takes it into the end zone. It's a Polar Bear touchdown. Trey Cumberledge catches his first ever pass, and it goes for a TD. But there's a flag on the play.
They might get us for having illegal downfield, but I can't tell. Depends on how they're going to go with it.
And that is the call.
Yeah.
Brody started to run, and he was heading forward. So tough when you're an offensive lineman. You think your quarterback's taking off.
It is, and with the run-pass option now and the RPOs, I mean, it's really hard now. Especially the offensive linemen. I mean, they think it could be a run, could be a pass, and they want to be aggressive, but then do you go too far downfield? And so, those are kind of the tough situations you get in. But this RPO stuff is not going anywhere. I mean, it's revolutionized the game of football, and it's going to continue at all levels.
So that 5-yard penalty is only 5 yards, but it's bigger than that because it negates a Fairmont touchdown. So the ball set down at the 44-yard line, 44 in Lewis territory. Fairmont moves from right to left, 4:14 to go in the third quarter, leading 42-3. First down and 15 now. And there is Chris Wilson getting the handoff inside the 40, down to the 35, the 30, showing that speed and takes it down close to the 20-yard line. Chris Wilson with a nice run down to about the 20, so that'll make it a run of 24 yards. Wilson's had quite a productive night for the Polar Bears. He's carried the ball 2 times for 67 yards. And he's a kid who didn't play football until last year, his junior year.
Yeah, it's just amazing the weapons again that this Polar Bear this Polar Bear football team that has their skill. It's just it's so deep, and if they can get the play up front and they get those guys gelling up front, the sky's the limit for this team because they've got guys that are going to be very hard to defend as they go through this schedule.
And I think, and the one thing you think the negative to that is, how do you keep everybody happy? Because you've got so many kids who are quality players, but you can only play so many at a time.
That's a great question, Jeff, but I think what it is it's the coaching staff, it's the culture that they've set, the standard that they've set, and, their ultimate goal is to be, at the end, the last one standing, and they want to be the champion. And, I mean, that's, and like I said earlier, I mean, you saw the play where it was unselfish by the slot receiver, making a block, Canfield, I believe it was. I mean, just, that's the kind of selflessness that you have to have. I mean, I played with a teammate of mine when I was at Fairmont State. His name was Teddy Murphy, and, he was that kind of player. He would always go the extra mile to block. I mean, he was a phenomenal receiver, tough as nails, but he would also block all the time for everybody. When he didn't have the ball, he took as much pride in that.
I think particularly of the kids who transferred, each one of those kids would have been a big-time player at his school if he was looking just for stats.
That's right.
So they are coming here for more than just stats, to be a part of a program that has been ultra successful and is going to be playing in situations that maybe some of these guys haven't experienced before.
That's right, and you have success as a program. Everybody wins. Everybody is going to have, because you're going to bring more attention to your program. You're going to get people that are going to be drawn to your program and want to learn about it. It's a given.
It's first down and 10 for the Polar Bears. Ball set down at the 21-yard line. And here's Whitehair, back to pass, getting some pressure from the right side. Sends it downfield for Dinger. He's got it! It's a Polar Bear touchdown! Kevin Dinger gets his first TD, and the Polar Bears take the lead now 48-3 on that 21-yard TD pass from Whitehair to Dinger.
Yeah, they're in the go route that time. They were in four vertical routes, and looked like it was a 3-deep coverage. So, 4 verticals are going to beat 3 deep any day, and that's what they did on that play.
puts Whitehair over 200 yards passing tonight and gives the Polar Bears a lead of 48-3, and Pesha will kick from right to left. We still have 3:48 to go here in this third quarter. Ball is down on the tee, and the kick is up, and the kick, as always with Peschel, is good. Timeout on the field, 3:48 to go, third quarter from Fairmont. It's the Polar Bears 49, Lewis County 3 on 93.1 WFGM.
When it comes to vaping, the truth can get clouded.
On 93.1 WFGM, brought to you by your local Parmar stores. Here's the voice of the Polar Bears, Jeff Carpenter.
Brody Whitehair has completed 10 of 13 passes tonight, 203 yards, and he's thrown 5 touchdowns.
Flowers kick off the Fairmont senior.
And now Sam Flower will kick off from right to left. Flower is a junior, 5'10", 170. And he'll tee the ball up in the center of the field. Akerd and Moats back to return for the Minutemen. Flower approaches the ball, and here is his kick. Pops up, and it's going to be fielded on the far side, and then the ball goes out of bounds.
Flowers' kick goes out of bounds.
I thought it was going to be caught along the sidelines, but it went out of bounds, so that'll be a 5-yard penalty, or they'll give the ball to the Minutemen at the 35-yard line. And Lewis will go 1st and 10 from there.
Yeah, we're starting to see that we're going to start making some, position changes and getting some of the younger guys in. And this is a critical time because that's the advantage of getting up in a game like this, because these young guys are going to get those reps that, you can do it as much as you want to in practice, but these are the reps that are going to be more meaningful for them to get that varsity experience.
Quentin Atkinson is along the front line along with Javen Papali for the Polar Bears. David Watson also into the game along with Jackson Lowther for Fairmont Senior. Jason Walker in the game as well. 1st down and 10. Deep hand off to Akerd. Akerd is hit behind the line of scrimmage and then finished off. And making the play for the Polar Bears was the youngest Bigelow. That's Parker, who came in, grabbed him by the ankles and wouldn't let go.
Yeah, just a really nice job of filling the A gap. It was a similar play I think his brother had earlier in the game, but so obviously they've been taught pretty well. I mean, that was a way to come downhill. That's the way you play that.
So 2nd down and 14 now. Gabe Muller, a sophomore, in the game as well for Fairmont Senior. Max Becerra along the front line. Up under center is Jones on a 2nd and 14. Moats in motion. Moats gets the handoff, then hands it back on a counter play to Akerd. Akerd takes it for yardage up out over the 35 to about the 37, maybe the 38-yard line. Hit and brought down there. On the tackle was Drew Jackson for the Polar Bears.
Number 59, Jay Papali.
So it's going to be 3rd down and 7. That'll be about an 8-yard gain for Akerd, and 8-yard gains have been hard to come by for Lewis County tonight.
Yeah, it's just been very difficult for them because they don't have any semblance of a passing game, and that just makes it very hard. I mean, this defense is just way too physical to just let them tee off every play, and that's kind of what it's been the whole night.
Polar Bears have Jordan Wagner in the game as well. Handoff goes up the middle, taken out over the 40 up to the 41-yard line. And Grayson Dinger, that's the brother of Cannon Dinger, in the game at safety. Lowther in on the stop. Ball comes up to the 41-yard line where it will be 4th down and 6 with 1:04 to go. 4th down and 4. I said 6. Should have said 4. Ball at the 41-yard line. Game clock down to 50, play clock at 13. Lewis County is going to call timeout, I think, before the play clock expires. And that's what they do. Timeout, Lewis County, with 36 seconds to go in the third quarter. And the score, Fairmont Senior 49, Lewis County 3 on 93.1 WFGM. Lewis County ready to punt the ball away now. It's fourth down. 4 yards to go for the Minutemen. Akert is the punter, stands at his 30. Jason Walker back to return. And there is the punt away. This is his best of the night. Walker goes back and watches it hit on the sidelines and goes out of bounds. So the Polar Bears will have the football in their own territory at the 19-yard line with 13 seconds to go in the third quarter.
From their own 24.
Clock begins to turn inside 10 seconds to go in the third quarter, and that's going to run the clock down, and that's the end of quarter number 3 from East West Stadium in Fairmont. The score, the Fairmont Senior Polar Bears 49, the Lewis County Minutemen 3 on 93.1 WFGM.
Polar Bears 49, Lewis County 3.
Now back to Polar Bear football on 93.1 WFGM, brought to you by your local Parmar store. Here's the voice of the Polar Bears, Jeff Carpenter.
And the Polar Bears have the football. With it is Rapchak, and Rapchak takes it off the right side, gets it out over the 40, the 50, and down the sidelines, close to the 30-yard line, but there's a flag down on the play near midfield. Christian Rapchak, first carry, quarterback in the game, freshman Dominic Trotta. And on the very first play, carried the ball all the way into Lewis territory from the 19-yard line. Flag on the play, though, was thrown near midfield. So most likely a penalty against the Polar Bears during the run.
Yeah, I know it's coming back, Jeff, but it's definitely a really good thing to be able to see him, the young guy, putting the foot in the ground and going.
Blocking the back call of Fairmont Senior. That'll bring the first down back
So it takes the ball back to the 49. The run went to the 39-yard line. 42-yard run for Rapchak. And the handoff goes to Jordan Wagner off the left side. He's down to the 50, the 45, the 40, at the sidelines at the 30, the 25, the 20, the 15, the 10, and he spins away to the goal line, and he's into the end zone. That's a Polar Bear touchdown. Wow, an amazing run for senior Jordan Wagner, and he gets the Polar Bears on the scoreboard again with a 49-yard touchdown run.
Yeah, tremendous effort by Wagner. He wasn't going to be denied getting in the end zone. Just tremendous second and third effort.
Jordan Wagner, that's his second run of his career. And that's the one he's going to remember, not that first one. So now the Polar Bears will go for the two-point conversion. They need a player from the sidelines. The quarterback, Dominic Trotta, a freshman, another freshman, Grayson Dinger in the backfield, and Trotta will just take a knee so the Polar Bears don't add on an extra point. Timeout on the field with 11:09 to go in the fourth quarter. It's the Polar Bears 55, Lewis County 3 on 93.1 WFGM.
On 93.1 WFGM, brought to you by your local Parmar store. Here's the voice of the Polar Bears, Jeff Carpenter.
Usually when the team brings in its second line players, you have a chance to talk a little bit, but not this time. Christian Rapchak with a big run of 41 yards and then a 49-yard run by Jordan Wagner. Rapchak's first ever carry, Wagner's second ever carry. And the Polar Bears score on 2 plays from their own 19-yard line.
Yeah, and you like to see that. These guys that, have been working really hard every day in practice all throughout, and the time that they've been Polar Bears, I mean, to see them get that opportunity is really nice.
Flowers kick end over end, shorter, taken at the 13-yard line along the sidelines and taken out over the 20, close to the 30-yard line. That was Aiden Anderedge on the return for Lewis County up to the 30-yard line. 10:45 to go. I was going to tell you the things that they don't stop the clock for. They don't stop the clock for an incomplete pass. They don't stop the clock for a runner going out of bounds like we just saw, so the clock's running. And they don't stop it for penalty administration. So if they call delay of game even, that doesn't stop the clock. And when a first down is gained without a change of possession, if there's a change of possession, then they will stop the clock. That's my continuing education for tonight. I needed to read through that, refresh my memory.
Nicely done.
Handoff and no place for the running back. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. These Polar Bear reserves off to a pretty good start.
Yeah,
loss of 1.
And, the thing is, what's really interesting is that some of these guys that are starting off as reserves and they're starting off not really playing the real big role right now, as they continue to get the game reps and as they continue to get the JV reps, they will, by the end of the year, contribute, and that's what you like to see.
Nick Bennett in at quarterback for Lewis County now. And there's ball taken off the left end out over the 25 up to about the 28-yard line by Anderedge. Making the tackle for the Polar Bears. It's Bigelow again. Parker Bigelow his stats, 5'11", 200-pound sophomore. Third down and 12 yards to go. Ball at the 28-yard line in Minutemen territory. We're down to 8:50 left. Ball taken off the right side, and there's no place to go. Stopped behind the line of scrimmage was Lewis County's Devin Bellamy.
Devin Bellamy, number 14 on the carry for the Minutemen.
Yeah, and then Coach Bardick's defense, I mean, I know we talked about it with Arbogast in there, and, you know, it doesn't matter who's playing that nose position. If they get push at that position, it really sets their defense up nicely for what they try to do.
It's going to be 4th down and 13 and a punting situation. Akert back into punt. This is a nice floater. Nobody back for the Polar Bears. They'll just let it bounce. But it takes a lateral roll now, a Polar Bear roll up to the 45, and that's where Fairmont gets it. 8:05 to go here in the fourth quarter. Fairmont leading 55-3. Cooper Keener coming into the game for the Polar Bears and then heading over to the sidelines as we have an official's time. Next week on the road, Robert C. Byrd is the opponent. That's the Polar Bear schedule for Lewis County. It'll be a little different night as the Minutemen will play at home against Braxton County. After tonight, things lighten up for the Minutemen.
And the tough thing with Lewis County is starting off with this. Obviously, I know it's going to be a very physical game, and they will have to recover from that. But like you said, as they go on and as they went on with their schedule last year, they progressed really nicely.
15-yard personal foul penalty called against the Polar Bears. We have no idea exactly what happened there. First down for Fairmont, and this is Rapchek getting the ball again, and he is wrapped up as he takes it off the left side for a couple of yards. Stop made by Gavin Bailey. Third down and 7, a 3-yard run. Jacob McDougall in the game for the Polar Bears along the front line. Javen Papali. Lowther wide out to the near side, along with Grayson Dinger. And also coming wide to the left is Gabe Muller. Second down and 7. And Trotta on a keeper off the left side. Gets out of it the 35, the 40, the 45, the 50. And he slips and goes down inside the 50-yard line at about the 46-yard line. And the Polar Bears get a big play. Dominic Trotta. 22-yard gain to the 45.
Yeah, and that was a really nice job by Dominic on that play, just reading the end, and that was one where he could have given it, and he made the right decision and worked out nicely.
So now first down and 10, Fairmont Senior. 6:36, turning clock, Polar Bears leading 55-3. Trotta milking the play clock, gets the snap and then hands it off, a deep handoff in the backfield, and it's given to Trent Moore, and he stopped behind the line of scrimmage for a loss on the play. Isaac Pickens in on the play for Lewis, a loss of 3 yards. It'll be second down and 7, or second down and 13 rather, for the Polar Bears.
I tell you, Jeff, I saw Grayson Dinger on that play really be active in the blocking on that play, and like to see that. It was a great effort going to the whistle.
So second down play coming up, 13 to go. Watson comes wide to the near side. Walker goes wide left. Trotta at quarterback on a design keep off the left side. He takes it down to the 45, the 40, down the sidelines at the 35, the 30, and finally goes down after he gave ground back behind the first down markers. I'm not sure where they're going to mark him, but he had the first down, then gave ground, and then didn't have it anymore. But they say it is a Fairmont first down at the 35.
That'll be enough for a Fairmont senior.
Very nice job of that young Polar Bear offensive line getting moving on that left side. Really nice running lane.
Trotta's turned out to be quite a running quarterback. 2 carries, 2 first downs, and it's first down and 10 Fairmont Senior now with just 5 minutes to go at the 35-yard line. Trotta with a running back on either side of him, and he gives it to Dinger. That's Grayson Dinger off the right side. He gets back to the 35-yard line and then goes down at about the 33.
Number 15, Grayson Dinger with the carry. He appears to be
And
shaken up on play though.
Dinger a little shaken up on the play. In the lineup for the Polar Bears, Tucker Hayhurst along the front line. And Dinger is going to be checked. So we have a timeout with 4:40 to go in the fourth quarter at East West Stadium with the score Fairmont Senior 55, Lewis County 3 on 93.1 WFGM.
WFGM, brought to you by your local Parmar stores. Here's the voice of the Polar Bears, Jeff Carpenter.
Fairmont with the ball, second down and 7. King Abercrombie along the front line for Fairmont Senior as well. He's a sophomore, seeing his first varsity football action.
Rematch of last year's state championship game.
Clock begins to turn, inside 4:35 to go. Trotta in the pistol formation. Milking the play clock with the Polar Bears up big. Snap, hand off to Moore. Moore off the right side. He takes it inside the 30, the 25, down to the 20, and inside the 15 to about the 12-yard line.
Number 23, Trent Moore.
So Trent Moore on a carry.
Number 4, Isaac
Takes it down to about the 13-yard line. Another Polar Bear first down. And it's going to be first and 10 at the Lewis 13 with 3:42 to go. Trotta gives it off to Moore, and there's a flag at the line of scrimmage.
Flag on the play.
Yeah, I think they're going to get motion on Drew Jackson.
5-yard penalty. That puts the Polar Bears over the century mark in penalties. 103 yards in flags tonight.
It's going to be a 5-yard penalty.
So that's going to take the football back now to about the 18-yard line. And it'll be first and 10 from there with 2:55 to go.
Excuse me, first and 15.
The center for the Polar Bears is Cooper Keener. Big kid, 6'3", 270 sophomore. Handoff goes to Watson off the right side. Watson run down as he takes it close to the 15-yard line. Clock will continue to turn. 3-yard gain. And it's going to be second down. Ball marked down at the 16. Second down and about 13 to go. 2:08 to go.
Yeah, Jeff, you mentioned Keener on that last play. Watching him that last play, really nice movement on the nose. Really good leverage coming off on the nose that last play.
Abercrombie and Hayhurst are linemen to the left of him. McDougal and Papali to the right, and now Trotter will take a knee back at the 20-yard line with 1:40 to go.
Jeff, that's something I've always had a tremendous amount of respect for Coach Bardick. Obviously my son played for him for 4 years, and just, the time I've known him as a head coach, he's always been a first-class coach as far as not running a score up and having respect for his opponents. And so I always commend him on that. I think that's an important part of the game. It teaches your kids the right way.
Play clock running and the game clock as well. Play clock down to 5. The Polar Bears on offense want this game to end just as Lewis does, and Trotter will take another knee back at about the 26-yard line.
That knee is going to set up a 4th and 23.
We invite you to stay tuned after the game. Fairmont Federal Credit Union presents the post-game show. We're down to 33 seconds, and Fairmont does have to run its 4th down play here because the play clock is about 17 seconds ahead of the game clock. And the snap comes back to Trotter, goes back at the 31-yard line, takes a knee, and this game is going to end. It's a final tonight from East West Stadium in Fairmont. The Fairmont Senior Polar Bears 55 and the Lewis County Minutemen 3. We'll have the wrap-up coming up next here on 93.1.